In the heart of the Indus Valley, craftsmanship was not just a skill, it was the lifeblood of the civilization. Artisans shaped every aspect of daily life, from the smallest bead to the grandest pottery. These master craftsmen were the backbone of their communities, creating goods that were not only functional, but also works of art. Today, we'll step inside their world and witness the artistry and labor that built the Indus Valley's economic foundation, one craft at a time. Our first stop takes us to the pottery workshop, where the timeless art of shaping clay continues to thrive. Here, artisans employ ancient techniques passed down through generations, carefully molding clay on the potter's wheel to create vessels for storage, cooking, and trade. Every piece is crafted with patience, precision, and a deep connection to the land and its resources. The pottery of the Indus Valley was not merely utilitarian, it was a canvas for creativity and cultural expression. Look closely as the potter's hands bring raw clay to life. Each movement is deliberate, a dance of skill and tradition. From shaping the walls to adding intricate designs, every detail is a reflection of the potter's expertise. These pots served not only as everyday essentials, but as vessels of culture, carrying symbols and patterns that told the stories of the people who created them. In every curve and swirl, the legacy of the Indus Valley is etched in clay. The creation of pottery doesn't end with shaping. Once the pieces are formed, artisans apply a natural glaze made from minerals and other local resources. This glaze not only gives the pottery a beautiful, glossy finish, but also makes it more durable for everyday use. The next step in the process is firing the pottery in a kiln, where the heat transforms the clay into a hard, permanent vessel. The process is delicate, as the temperature must be just right to achieve the perfect finish. This final stage reveals the true artistry of the potter. Next, we enter the bead-making workshop, where another form of craftsmanship flourishes. Here, artisans shape tiny beads from semi-precious stones, shells, and metals, creating intricate patterns and designs. These beads were highly prized, both for their beauty and their significance in Indus society. The artisans used primitive tools to drill, shape, and polish the beads, which would then be woven into jewelry, traded, and worn by both the elite and commoners. Beads were more than just ornaments. They were symbols of status, wealth, and identity. Indus Valley artisans were not just skilled in pottery and bead making, they were also masters of metalworking. Here we witness the transformation of raw metal into tools, weapons, and jewelry. Using bronze, copper, and other metals, these artisans shaped functional and beautiful objects that played a crucial role in the economy and daily life. The fine balance between artistry and utility is evident in each piece crafted to perfection. Each item had a purpose, whether for trade, warfare, or personal adornment. As we examine the pottery of the Indus Valley, we begin to notice something remarkable. Each piece is adorned with symbols, patterns, and motifs. These designs are not merely decorative. They carry deep cultural and spiritual meanings. Geometric shapes, animals, and abstract symbols were used to convey messages, express beliefs, and perhaps even identify the maker. The symbols were a language of their own, hinting at the rich spiritual and social fabric of Indus society. But the mystery remains. Many of these symbols and their meanings remain undeciphered to this day. One of the greatest mysteries of the Indus Valley Civilization lies in its script. Found on seals, pottery, and other artifacts, the symbols have puzzled scholars for centuries. Despite numerous attempts to decode the script, its true meaning remains elusive. Could these symbols be a form of early writing, a record of trade transactions, or perhaps a sacred language? As we explore these markings, we are reminded of how much of the Indus Valley Civilization remains shrouded in mystery, waiting to be understood. Artisans in the Indus Valley were far more than just skilled laborers. They were the creators of the economy, shaping goods that were traded across vast distances. Whether crafting pottery, jewelry, or metal tools, their work was integral to the prosperity of the civilization. These artisans were highly respected in their communities, providing essential items for daily life, trade, and ritual. Their work not only supported the local economy, but helped sustain a society that thrived on creativity and craftsmanship. The Indus Valley was home to numerous skilled artisans, and each region had its own specialty. In Mohenjo-Daro, potters shaped fine clay vessels, while Harappa's beadmakers created intricate jewelry with semi-precious stones. Even smaller towns contributed to the richness of this vast network, producing everything from textiles to metal objects. The diversity of craftsmanship across the Indus Valley highlights the civilization's regional expertise and the extensive trade networks that connected them. Pottery was not only an essential part of daily life, it was a valuable commodity in trade. Indus Valley potters produced vessels that were exported far beyond their borders. These trade goods were highly sought after for their durability and the intricate artistry that adorned them. Traders in bustling marketplaces bartered these pots, helping connect the Indus Valley with regions as far as Mesopotamia and beyond. The spread of their pottery tells us much about the expansive reach of the Indus trade networks. Beads and jewelry were not only adornments, they were symbols of status and wealth in Indus society. Crafted from precious stones, metals, and even ivory, the jewelry made by artisans was worn by the elite. The patterns and colors of the beads often indicated a person's social standing, with more elaborate designs representing higher status. These ornaments were highly prized, passed down as heirlooms, and often found in burial sites, indicating their cultural and personal significance. In the metalworking workshops of the Indus Valley, artisans crafted tools that were both functional and artistically beautiful. Copper and bronze were carefully shaped into tools for farming, trade, and daily activities. The mastery of these metals was a sign of technological advancement. These tools, though practical in nature, were often intricately decorated, showcasing the artistic touch of the metalworkers who crafted them. The blending of utility and artistry in these tools underscores the sophistication of Indus craftsmanship. As we examine the jewelry of the Indus Valley, we notice recurring symbols, geometric patterns, animals, and representations of nature. These designs were more than decorative. They held deeper meanings. Some believe these symbols were used to convey protection, fertility, or connections to the divine. The artistry in these pieces speaks of a culture deeply attuned to symbolism, with each design telling a story of beliefs, values, and social connections. Every bead, every pattern was more than ornamentation. It was a visual language. The artisans of the Indus Valley were not just skilled in shaping materials. They had an intimate knowledge of the natural world. From semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli to the shells of distant seas, artisans sourced materials from far and wide. These natural materials were then shaped into beads, jewelry, and tools with astonishing precision. The use of such materials not only shows the resourcefulness of the craftsmen, but also highlights the importance of trade routes that connected the Indus Valley to the broader world, enabling the exchange of rare and valuable resources. Seals were more than just functional objects in the Indus Valley. They were symbols of identity, authority, and trade. Crafted with extraordinary precision, these seals were used to mark goods, identify owners, and even communicate with others. Artisans meticulously carved intricate symbols, animals, and motifs onto each seal, creating a unique emblem. These seals have been found in archaeological sites, offering us a glimpse into the administrative and economic systems of the Indus Valley, as well as the craftsmanship that went into creating these small but powerful tools. Each seal tells a story. The carvings on these small pieces of stone or clay reveal deep symbolic meanings. Common motifs include animals, like the unicorn, bull, and rhinoceros, which were likely seen as symbols of power, strength, and fertility. Some seals also feature abstract designs that may represent religious or spiritual beliefs. The recurring use of these symbols points to the importance of rituals, trade, and identity in Indus Valley society. The seal was a key tool in both the administrative and spiritual life of the civilization. Metal jewelry was another area where artisans of the Indus Valley excelled. With copper, bronze, and even gold, artisans created stunning pieces of jewelry that were worn as both personal adornments and status symbols. These jewelry pieces were intricately designed with geometric patterns and stylized motifs. The skill required to craft metal jewelry was immense, as the materials had to be carefully heated, molded, and polished to achieve the desired finish. Jewelry from the Indus Valley, often found in burial sites, reveals much about the social and economic structure of the civilization. While jewelry and ornaments were highly prized, the most essential craft was the creation of tools that enabled people to survive and thrive. In the workshops of the Indus Valley, artisans shaped tools that were used in agriculture, construction, and everyday tasks. Copper and bronze were the primary materials used for these tools, which ranged from sickles for harvesting to axes for building. These practical tools were the backbone of daily life, allowing the Indus Valley people to cultivate the land, build their cities, and maintain their thriving economy. Indus Valley pottery wasn't just functional, it was a canvas for artistic expression. Each pot, whether simple or complex, tells a story through its shape and design. Artisans experimented with different forms, ranging from large storage jars to small decorative vessels. The shapes were influenced by daily needs, but they also reflected the aesthetic values of the society. From wide-mouthed jars for storing grain to beautifully curved vessels for ceremonial use, each piece was a work of art in its own right. The artistry of the Indus Valley was not confined to the workshop. It was also an integral part of trade. Artisans created goods that were highly prized and exchanged across the region. Pottery, jewelry, and metal tools were valuable commodities, traded in bustling marketplaces and along long-distance trade routes. These goods were not just items of everyday use. They were sought after for their beauty, craftsmanship, and symbolic significance. The exchange of these artistic goods helped the Indus Valley Civilization establish connections with distant lands and cultures. Nature played a pivotal role in the craftsmanship of the Indus Valley. The materials used by artisans, stone, shells, wood, and clay, were sourced from the natural environment surrounding them. From the vibrant lapis lazuli found in distant lands to the seashells used for beadmaking, nature provided the raw materials that fueled artistic creativity. The relationship between the artisans and the natural world was one of respect and harmony, as they transformed these elements into tools, jewelry, and pottery that told the story of their environment. The artistry of the Indus Valley was deeply entwined with the spiritual and mystical beliefs of its people. Many of the symbols and patterns found on pottery and jewelry are believed to have held spiritual significance, from abstract motifs to depictions of animals. These designs may have been used for rituals, protection, or invoking divine blessings. The lack of a fully understood written language leaves us with a sense of mystery, as these objects may hold meanings lost to time. Still, the mysticism of Indus art continues to intrigue and captivate us today. The legacy of the Indus Valley artisans endures through the artifacts that have been discovered and preserved. Pottery, jewelry, seals, and tools from this ancient civilization offer us a glimpse into their daily lives, spiritual beliefs, and technological prowess. While much remains shrouded in mystery, the quality of the craftsmanship speaks volumes about the skill and creativity of these artisans. Their work has stood the test of time, allowing us to connect with a culture that flourished thousands of years ago. As we reflect on the artistry and craftsmanship of the Indus Valley, we are reminded of the extraordinary ingenuity that shaped this ancient civilization. The artisans of the Indus Valley crafted not only goods for everyday use, but masterpieces that have left an indelible mark on history. Their legacy continues to inspire us as we strive to understand the cultural, spiritual, and technological achievements that made the Indus Valley one of the world's earliest great civilizations. Over time, the pottery of the Indus Valley evolved from simple utilitarian vessels to beautifully intricate works of art. Early pottery was primarily functional, used for storing food and liquids. However, as artisans refined their techniques, they began experimenting with more complex shapes and elaborate decorations. The craftsmanship grew in sophistication, with fine detailing and painted motifs enhancing each piece. This evolution speaks to the creativity and growing cultural significance of pottery within the Indus Valley. In the Indus Valley, women played a vital role in the creation of many artisanal goods, particularly in pottery and beadmaking. These crafts were often passed down from generation to generation, with mothers teaching daughters the intricate techniques. Women's craftsmanship was highly valued, and many of the finely made beads and pottery vessels that have been found in excavations are attributed to female artisans. Their contributions were crucial in shaping the culture, beauty, and economy of the Indus Valley. Bead making was one of the most important and skilled crafts in the Indus Valley. Artisans crafted beads from a variety of materials, including semi-precious stones like carnelian and agate, shells, and even metal. These beads were not just decorative, they held symbolic value. Worn as jewelry, they also represented social status and were sometimes used in rituals. Bead making was an intricate process, requiring precision and patience, and the resulting jewelry was highly valued in both local and long-distance trade. The discovery of Indus Valley artifacts has been pivotal in our understanding of this ancient civilization. From pottery to seals and jewelry, these items offer a direct link to the people who created them. Archaeologists have painstakingly unearthed these treasures, providing us with valuable insights into the daily life, social structure, and artistic achievements of the Indus Valley. Each artifact discovered adds a new layer of understanding to a civilization that continues to intrigue and inspire us. We've explored the artistry and craftsmanship of the Indus Valley, uncovering the skill and symbolism behind their creations. But the story doesn't end here. In Part 4, we'll dive into the advanced urban planning of their cities and uncover the mysteries behind the civilization's sudden decline. Stay tuned for the next chapter of this incredible journey.